There's this sound in music. It's like shimmering echoes, almost wet sounding. It just instantly takes you somewhere. Maybe a beach, waves crashing, or like a smoky club, kind of psychedelic.
Yeah, I know the one.
Right. And you've definitely heard it, even if you don't know the name or where it came from, which is actually pretty surprising. So today, we're doing a deep dive into the Fender Spring Reverb unit. Seems simple, right?
Yeah.
Just a box. But its impact.
Yeah.
Huge. Far-reaching.
Oh, absolutely. It wasn't just, another pedal or effect.
No.
It fundamentally shaped guitar music, defined a whole genre, really.
Exactly. It became more than just gear. It turned into this cultural thing, a sound that was Fender for a whole era.
Yeah, for so many people, that sound, that specific spring reverb is the sound of the electric guitar from that time. It's just woven into rock and roll.
Totally. So that's our mission today for you listening.
Yeah.
Let's unpack this thing. Where did it come from? What makes that sound so, well, unique? And why does it still matter?
Yeah, how did this box of springs and tubes change music? Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The origins. This is where it gets kind of wild. Spring reverb technology. It wasn't even for guitars initially.
Right, it's pretty counterintuitive.
It was developed for organs.
Yeah.
Hammond organs mostly, to give them that big, spacious sound like in a hall or church.
Think about that leap from an organ, this big stately instrument, to rock and roll guitars.
It's quite a jump. How does that even happen?
Well, that's where Fender comes in. Genius move, really. Spring reverb existed, yeah, but it was often built into studio gear or those organs. Bulky stuff.
Not exactly portable.
Not at all. Then Fender releases the 6G15 reverb unit in '61, and that was the game changer. Why? Because it was the first widely available portable spring reverb made specifically for guitar players.
Ah, okay, so they took the concept and made it practical for working musicians.
Exactly. Suddenly, guitarists could get that echoey, spacious sound easily. They didn't need a giant studio. Fender basically put this new sound right into their hands.
And it just took off, like wildfire.
Oh, immediately. It became like the sound of surf music in the early '60s. Inseparable.
It didn't just get adopted. It pretty much created that sound, didn't it? That whole Southern California vibe.
Absolutely. It defined it.
So let's talk about that sound, because it is, well, it's unmistakable. The sources we looked at use words like drippy, splashy, surf-style reverb.
Yeah, those are perfect descriptions. Drippy and splashy really capture it.
It sounds almost liquid, like water dripping.
It does. Sonically, it's super lively, bright, percussive, really different from other reverbs.
How so? Like compared to a studio plate reverb or something digital?
Well, plates are often smoother, denser. Digital can be super clean, almost sterile sometimes. But spring reverb, it's got this organic chaos to it, especially that famous drip.
Ah, yes, the drip. Explain that. What is that?
So when you hit a note hard, especially on the low strings, the initial attack makes the springs physically wobble and collide in a certain way. It creates this percussive plink or plunk sound right at the start of the reverb trail.
Like a little splash before the echo.
Exactly. It's almost like a little percussive artifact. And that became the surf guitar trademark. You needed that drip for those fast staccato surf riffs. It helped the guitar just cut right through everything else.
Right, that brightness and percussiveness you mentioned, it wasn't just blending in. It was announcing itself.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That unique character, that ability to cut through, combined with the whole splashy vibe, that was the secret sauce for surf rock. That's the sound people fell in love with.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting for me. How did they do it? How did Fender actually build this thing, the 6G15, to get that specific sound? Let's peek under the hood a bit.
Yeah, the circuit design is pretty elegant, actually. It's all tube-driven, which is key to the sound.
Tubes, okay, like in an old amp.
Exactly. 3 specific tubes doing different jobs. You had a 12AT7, that was the preamp, boosts the guitar signal going in.
Got it.
Then, and this is kind of cool, a 6K6 tube. It's a small power tube, not one you see all the time in guitar amps. That was the reverb driver.
Meaning it pushes the signal into the springs.
Right. It sends the signal into the reverb tank itself with just the right amount of power and warmth. That 6K6 is crucial for that responsive, slightly compressed feel.
Okay, preamp, driver. What's the third tube?
12AX7. That's the recovery stage. It takes the reverberated signal coming out of the springs, the wet signal, and boosts it back up, bringing out all those splashy harmonics.
So it's this chain reaction. Input, drive the springs, recover the sound.
Pretty much. And the tubes themselves add their own warmth and character. It's not just amplification. They color the sound in a really pleasing way. Something early solid state couldn't really replicate back then.
And the tank itself, the springs.
Yeah, a long Accutronics spring reverb tank. Accutronics was like the name for reverb tanks back then. Those long springs are what give it that distinctive decay.
And the knobs, what do they control?
Simple but effective controls. You had dwell, which was basically how hard you hit the springs. More dwell meant a longer, more intense reverb.
Okay, like the decay time.
Sort of, yeah, intensity and length. Then mixer, which is obvious, blending your dry guitar sound with the wet reverb sound. You could go fully wet if you wanted.
Wow, okay.
And finally, tone. That just shapes how bright or dark the reverb itself sounds. Let you dial in the shimmer.
And this whole thing was in its own box, right?
Yeah.
With that cream-colored covering.
Yep, the classic cream telex cabinet, designed to sit right on top of your amp. A dedicated reverb machine. It looked cool, too.
It really is amazing. A standalone unit just for that sound. But it didn't stay standalone forever, did it? Fender must have realized how popular it was.
Oh, absolutely. That popularity basically forced Fender to evolve their thinking. The original 6G15, the brown face one, ran from 61 to 66. Huge success. Dick Dale, guys like that, made it famous.
Right.
Then in the 70s, they did the silver face version, mostly cosmetic changes, brushed aluminum panel instead of brown.
Still the same core idea, though.
Pretty much, yeah. Then later in the 90s, 2000s, you started seeing actual reissues trying to faithfully recreate that original 6G15 circuit. Those are often really highly regarded.
Because people wanted that original magic back.
Exactly. But the biggest evolution, like you said, was integrating it. Fender started building spring reverb right into their amps.
That seems like a major shift in their design philosophy.
It was huge. Think about the classic Fender amps. The twin reverb, the deluxe reverb, the Princeton reverb. The reverb part of the name tells you everything.
Ah, right there in the name.
Their built-in reverb circuits came directly from that original 6G15 design. It went from being an optional add-on to a standard expected feature on their main amps.
When did that start? Building it in?
Pretty early, actually. The Vibroverb in 1963 was one of the first big ones to have onboard reverb. It showed just how quickly Fender recognized the 6G15's impact. It wasn't a fad, it was becoming essential.
It basically became part of the Fender sound identity, didn't it?
Yeah.
A Fender amp should have that reverb.
You got it. It defined what guitarists expected from a quality Fender amp.
Now, okay, we naturally associate this sound with surf rock. Dick Dale, the Ventures, the Kings.
The obvious connection,
Yeah.
yeah.
But here's a curveball. If you think it only belongs on a surfboard, think again. It popped up in some pretty unexpected places, didn't it?
Oh, definitely. Its versatility is often underestimated. Sure, surf is its birthplace, but lots of other artists grabbed onto it.
Like who? Give us some surprising examples.
Well, how about Jimi Hendrix?
Hendrix?
Oh.
Really? I associate him more with fuzz and wah.
He definitely used spring reverb sometimes, especially for more psychedelic textures, not necessarily for that tight drip, but more for creating these huge, swirling, atmospheric sounds, like adding depth and space to his leads.
Interesting. So using the space aspect more than the drip.
Exactly. And then jump forward a couple of decades, think about shoegaze bands.
Like My Bloody Valentine, Jesus and Mary Chain.
Yep. They absolutely drenched their guitars in reverb, often spring reverb or emulations of it. They weren't trying to sound like surf bands at all. They used it to build those massive walls of sound, those dreamy, noisy textures.
Right, completely different aesthetic, but still relying on that core reverb sound.
It shows the unit had this fundamental sound quality that artists could adapt. It wasn't just a one-trick pony for surf riffs. It could be atmospheric, psychedelic, noisy. It transcended its origins.
That's fascinating. It really speaks to the power of the original design.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try and bring this all together. We've seen its surprising start, its unique sound, how it worked, how it evolved. What's the bottom line? What's the lasting legacy here?
Well, culturally, it's immense. It didn't just influence surf rock, it defined it. It became the sound of Southern California guitar for a whole generation. That's huge.
Can't argue with that.
And then there's the impact on gear itself. Like you said, it fundamentally changed amplifier design. Built-in reverb became the norm, largely thanks to the 6G15 success.
Made reverb accessible to everyone, not just guys who bought the separate box.
Exactly. And its influence is still incredibly strong today. Think about modern reverb pedals. So many of them. Even sophisticated digital ones like the Strymon Flint, or dedicated analog clones like the Surfy Bear, or even Boss's FRV1, they're explicitly trying to emulate that classic Fender 6G15 drip and splash.
So even with all our modern tech, we're still chasing that specific sound from 1961.
We absolutely are. It proves how iconic and desirable that sound remains. People still want that character.
Which really means, I guess, that the spring reverb tank, specifically the Fender version, is just one of the most instantly recognizable guitar effects ever. You hear two notes, and you just know.
No question. It's burned into our musical DNA. That simple, tube-driven box with its splashy sound secured its place. It's genuinely one of the most enduring, culturally significant pieces of guitar gear ever made. It wasn't just a product. It was a sonic revolution.
Wow, what a story. From helping out organs to defining surf rock and influencing decades of music and gear design. The Fender Spring Reverb unit really did pack a punch. Hopefully we've given you a new appreciation for it.
Yeah, it really makes you think, doesn't it? What if Fender hadn't released that unit back in '61? How different would surf music sound? How different might electric guitar itself sound today without that pervasive influence?
That's a great point. What sounds might have filled that space instead?
And it makes you wonder, what other seemingly simple innovations are out there now, maybe being overlooked, that could define the next big sound? What's the next spring reverb waiting to happen?
Something to think about. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. Go put on some records, listen close. I guarantee you'll start hearing that drippy, splashy magic everywhere.